met. Here we are on the day after Margaret's wake. Let me tell you something. If you've never been kicked out of a travel lodge at 4 a.m. with Norman Tebbit for singing Kinnock is a Twat to the tune of Don't Stop Me Now whilst urinating in an elevator, you haven't lived. I'm raising a glass in her honour. A glass of good English wine, fresh from the hills of sunny Dorking. Some people, however, have insisted this week on asking me questions about some of the bad things Margaret did. People insist on harping on certain things, and so I'd like to just quickly address those. I mean, there's her continued support for Pol Pot throughout the 1980s, her insistence that he be represented on the UN all the way through the 1980s. There's her use of the SAS to train the Khmer Rouge, who killed a third of the population of their country. It was her personal authorization that the SAS be used to train them between 1983 and 1987. There's her use of the British Secret Service to train the Mujahideen, including Bin Laden, between 1981 and 1983. Of course, there's her continued support for General Pinochet, who used to like rounding his political opponents up in football stadiums and having them shot. Or alternatively, he used to cut their stomachs open and take them up in helicopters, get one of his army to hold on to their intestines and push them out. Crazy times. Of course, there's her material support for P.W. Botha. He was the only European leader to have him over, and her continued calling of Mandela a terrorist. There was her introduction of Section 28, the only anti-homosexual legislation introduced by a British government since the end of the 19th century. There's all that stuff, but let's not forget, she did do some bad things as well. There was the poll tax. I mean, it is outrageous to think that poor people should pay the same for local services as rich people. You know, if anything, they should pay more. I mean, who's going to be using it? Who is more likely to use local services? If you own a helicopter, why would you get on a bus? And let that be an end to it. Good night.